I think a lot of people, and I'm one of them, will be pleased that we are discussing this today. This is one of those stories which warrants so much attention and actually gets so little.
Yeah, it's always a taboo subject, isn't it? It's like mental health 30 years ago. And it's shocking for me. I've been part of the care review for 15 months that, you know, we're having this review now. This should have been happening when I was in the care sector. But finally, it's here and the recommendations look positive, but we've just got to make sure we can implement them. And that's where the hard work begins.
Chris, a social worker once said to me, we get a sort of hokey-cokey. You'll have a really high-profile case like Baby P. The cry goes up. We can't leave kids with vulnerable, chaotic families and need taking away from those families and putting into care. Then a few years go by and we see the outcomes of being in state care are equally wretched and actually sometimes for a bigger number of kids. And then we allow more kids to stay with their parents until there's a high-profile case. And we get this hideous cycle.
Yeah, it's you know what, and it's like a fish tank, isn't it? It's just swimming around all the time. And as the saying goes, out of the frying pan into the fire, and that's how it is in the care sector, where we remove children for safety. Yet the paradox of a care home is that, you know, you're supposed to be kept safe, but you're surrounded by danger. And that's where we've got to look at the system and look at the failures and see how we can fix those loopholes. Kids are failing every day. As you've just said, you've just quoted, but lots of young people end up leaving the care sector, end up homeless. They end up in jail. But we don't have the stats of how many of those end up committing suicide, which is a high, vast number. It's by the time we had a complete overhaul of the care review, it's failed. It's never, ever been successful since day one. And it's a sad shame and it's a sad reality, but, you know, these high-profile cases is the only time we ever talk about it. And, you know, kids are dying every day. We don't see that. We don't see that. The media don't publish that. But now is the time. For me, this is... Sorry, go on. Yeah.
Well, I was going to make the point, one thing that came out of this report was this idea that helping, say, grandparents or you know, aunts and uncles who want to help. The parents failed for a variety of reasons. The child's in danger. Other members of the extended family want to step up. And all too often, they're not given the support. It's such a vague word, support. Sometimes it can actually mean money. Sometimes it can mean something more practical than that. But they're not getting the support even when they want to step up.
Yeah, it's very true. Even myself, when I was taken into care at 11 years old, there wasn't an option for me to stay with my grandparents or my uncle, and it would have saved a lifetime of misery throughout my 20s if that was an option back then. And we're still here today. You know, it's more convenient to support, again, that word support, the families, which would be cost effective for the government long term, instead of putting that child into a care where it can cost up to £10,000 a week. It doesn't make sense to me. And then we have to start talking about cure is you know, prevention is cheaper than cure. These are the answers, but the government's got to respond to it, and it's got to respond very quick.
Chris, we're out of time. Just can you, in one word, just tell me what turned your life around out of the care system? Can you do that really pithily for us?
Yeah, I can say it really quick, but I had a very good advocate in my life, someone who believed in me, someone who motivated me to change my life around.